Welcome to the Toffee Blues Extra Show, your midweek extra source of all things Everton. We're back this week. Welcome, Ben.
Hello, you're right.
Alright, and we're going to talk about Abdoulaye Doucouré because these rumours have come back up again about the Watford midfielder. Amidst the talk of a potential exit of Idrissa Gueye to PSG, Doucouré's name has been mentioned again because it is an area the brands have said he's looking to strengthen, whether that be in January or in the summer. But whether we're going to go back into Watford among the potentially a bit damaged relations between the two sides among the ongoing investigation over the tapping up of Marco Silva, or the kind of what happened over the manager situation. Anyway, we've already been in for Richarlison, and we got Richarlison for quite a hefty fee, but whether they'd be looking to do business with us again is an interesting one, and whether Doucouré would be a decent signing for us. Have you had a look at the player? What do you think of him, Ben?
Well, he's very impressive. I think with Doucouré, you're looking at a player who, with Everton, you kind of have seen over the last couple of seasons that he's capable of playing in a top six team. That's what I would say. I think if you were to construct a team who were non-top six minus Everton, who you would want to pick from the rest, he would be one of your central midfielders. And obviously, the thing with the Watford model is that they essentially do look to sell a star for a lot of money, and then they'll just rebuild and they'll find somewhere else from overseas. They've got quite an expansive recruitment team there, it seems. So I think he's not someone I can imagine playing at Watford next season. Now, whether that's going to mean he'll be with us, whether he'll go to Paris Saint-Germain, it's an interesting one because obviously Paris Saint-Germain have been linked with Idrissa Gueye and Doucouré at the same time. So you wonder whether they take both. They've obviously got a little bit of a problem there with financial fair play. So in terms of Gueye, from what I understand, is that we value the player at about £40 million, and that might be out of their price range, which is kind of why they've moved for Doucouré. But he's certainly someone that I feel we would certainly benefit from. Ideally, I'd like to see Doucouré and Gueye in an Everton midfield, especially given the fact that we're not entirely sure what's happening with Andre Gomes. The latest reports that I've heard is that we could maybe sign him permanently this month for somewhere in the region of £25 million. Personally, I think that would be a great piece of business for us. But as it stands, I mean, we're not certain. We've been linked with Wilmer Barrios as well. The Boca Juniors president has come out and said that he no offers come in, but he does have a release clause of €23 million. So, I mean, we at least know that is there if we wanted to do it. But certainly with Doucouré, obviously he signed a new contract at Watford in the summer, new 5-year deal. So, I mean, we're looking at quite a lot of money if we were to bring him in, and obviously given the relationship with Watford, you can imagine they'll hold out just like with Richarlison for a premium.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Everton, they'll be looking to charge us over the odds for the amidst the ongoing situation. But with PSG as well, if they were to turn to Doucouré because they were outpriced of Everton's valuation of Idrissa Gueye, that would mean that Doucouré would be going for a little bit less than Gueye would be. How, as you say, with him signing the new contract last summer, how much do you think Doucouré would be going for?
I mean, that's the thing. He's 25 years old. You're looking at he's now just entering his peak years. Someone a little bit like Callum Wilson. Like a few years ago, in like the peak of the Moyes era, we would easily, as Everton, everyone knew where we were in the food chain, if you like. You'd go out and pluck someone, say Yakubu, for somewhere between 15, 20 million, whatever it was. Like Doucouré and Callum Wilson, these are players that you'd imagine in the modern market you're looking at north of £30 million. So, I mean, we do have the money, but like I say, we've in the past made many mistakes, especially in January. So, off the back of the AGM, you can see that brands and Denise they don't want to be making the same mistakes, and they want that stability, and that might just mean waiting for the right price rather than just constantly spending loads of money and chasing that success.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I do think we probably will get Wilmar Barrios probably for less than we will get Doucouré. So whether they're thinking of the price or thinking of getting the right... I'm sure they prioritise getting the right man over the price. But Doucouré is a player with Premier League experience, and I'm sure that's something that brands season as an advantage, obviously, because we'd prefer a player with with Premier League experience. But there were some quotes. I'm not sure how legitimate they were, because there were some questions about the legitimacy of these quotes. But I think it was last summer, of Doucouré coming out and saying, I think it was something like, I wouldn't move to Everton because it wouldn't be a step up. That would be disrespectful to Watford to stay at the same level rather than stepping up. Was there anything in those quotes, or do you think he would not come to Everton because of that reason?
Obviously, if they are verified, then there's something that we need to show that it would be a step up. And let's be honest, we're on the same number of points at this stage as we were last season, so we haven't really proven ourselves to have been a step up. Watford and Everton are in that little mini league below the top 6 at the moment, so we've just got to be realistic and say, they have almost taken that. We've been the injection that they needed to kind of retain their status as a Premier League club. 12 months ago, they looked like they were only heading in one direction, and almost like the Silva story has kind of given them a shot in the arm. And we obviously play them a few weeks' time at Vicarage Road. That's going to be quite a fascinating one. It's coming just after the transfer window is shut. Who's Doucouré going to be playing for? But we need to prove that we are a step up. And, we're obviously talking about central midfielders, but I look at the squad now and I think if we were to be saying having a kitty this January of somewhere between 50 to 60 million pounds, would I be putting that money towards a number 8 and number 6, or would I be looking at potentially signing a striker? Obviously, it's another question of who it would be. I'd like to see us sign another striker. The last couple of years we've been trying to find that replacement for Lukaku, and it's just proven really difficult, hasn't it?
Exactly. Surely that's the priority over a central midfielder. We've signed quite a few central midfielders over the past couple of years, but we've not managed to replace Lukaku. So surely, I think it's quite obvious from watching any one Everton game where we're missing. So I think if we are going to put all our eggs in one basket, it would be for the striking role. So we've been linked with quite a few midfielders, but not many strikers at all. With strong links anyway. I know there's been a couple of little flying ones about like the likes of Callum Wilson, who it might be difficult to attract them to Everton, with the likes of Chelsea also interested. But yeah. I think, I agree with you. We'd probably prioritise a striker over signing Doucouré or any midfielder in that case, because that's what we need, priority as well. And arguably as well, I'd potentially prioritise a right-sided midfielder over a central midfielder, because we do have cover in that area, but we don't for the likes of Walcott, who's currently still out of form at the moment. So would you prioritise a right midfielder over the likes of Doucouré as well?
Absolutely. It's a funny one, because obviously I think Walcott's played in almost every single game this season, or he's played the most number of games out of the entire senior squad. And he's someone who, when he was at Arsenal, he'd have a couple of good games and then he'd have one bad game, and then Wenger would take him out. And it really affected him, because he'd be like, well, I have one bad game and I'm out the side. And it feels like Silva talks a lot. There's a lot of dialogue between Silva and Walcott. Obviously, it's still quite early to say Silva has his favourites, but there's been an awful lot of time when us as fans have thought, today's the day where Walcott comes out the side, and there he is again. And just when you think he's on the wane, he'll come up with a goal. And obviously he's had a bit of a bereavement recently in his family, and he's kind of having to deal with that. And good luck to him. And obviously he scored against Tottenham and stuff, and paid tribute to his family loss. But obviously Lookman was given the chance against Lincoln. Looked really good. Going to your point about signing a right midfielder, what would that mean for Lookman? Obviously, the sounds he's given out in the past has been one of someone who just now wants to be playing regularly. His most recent quotes were quite positive. He said like he's happy to be here, and what was kind of misquoted in the press before about wanting to go away and stuff, which you just listen to what the player's saying, and he's saying now he's very happy and settled in the city and stuff. So it's a battle between the two of them. You got to understand nowadays that the kind of combination work and the understanding with the right back or the left back, depending which wing you're looking at, is vital. And I like what I'm seeing with Digne and Bernard. I feel like they're developing something quite nice. And but the issue with the centre forward, yes, we do need that focal point. Will Dominic Calvert-Lewin be able to become a prolific striker in the top flight? The jury's still out. But as it stands, it's allowed Richarlison to play as at number 9, and it's allowed Bernard to play on the left with Digne, and they're working quite well. We're yet to see that same combination from Coleman and Walcott as we did under Allardyce this season, it feels.
Yeah, it's a shame that, because it's something that I think during the first couple of games they came out and said that they were trying to establish a partnership between Coleman and Walcott. I remember when he first came to the club last January. I think Coleman came out and said after a couple of games, "Oh yeah, we're starting to build up a partnership," but that's never really happened. But which is a shame. But just to touch on a point also, before we end, just that you touched on before, about Richarlison playing up front. Would you give him a chance? Would you put him back up there? Because he kind of got like 5 or 6 games, and then they brought him back over to the left. But with the current striker crisis, would you put Richarlison back up front?
As it stands, what are the options? You've got Cenk Tosun. I mean, there are games where, against Leicester, for example, was I think the worst performance of the season by everyone. So Tosun came on for the last bit, and he got our only 2 shots on target that game. So do you give Tosun a chance? As it stands, I think Bernard's one of these players now that he's got his first goal. He's finally got his first goal. He could have got a lot earlier. He had those chances against Manchester United, against Arsenal, against Chelsea, and it felt like it was playing on his mind. He's finally scored. He scored a classy goal. So you have to play him. Therefore, you think, well, where do you fit everyone in? So it is a little bit of a case of shoehorning, because Sigurdsson has to play in the number 10, and then you've got Bernard on the left. Then you've got either Lookman or Walcott on the right. Probably Lookman at the moment. I'd probably start Lookman the way that Silva kind of winked at the reporters after the Lincoln game to suggest this is what's going to happen against Bournemouth. So that just basically, by deduction, you're looking at who's our top goal scorer. Richarlison has to play up front. It's not ideal. Chelsea have got a similar situation with Hazard at the moment, where Giroud's not getting the goals, Morata's not getting the goals, and we've got it with Niasse and Tosun. So you're going to have to trust Silva that Richarlison at the moment is playing there, but ideally in the long term we're going to get a proper striker in. Dare I say, like a Diego Costa, I'd love to be linked with him again, because it hasn't really worked for him second time round at Atletico Madrid. He's clearly shown that he can play in the Premier League. He's got a bit of narc about him, a bit of character, and I think that's what we kind of lack at times in games. And that would then therefore put that competition on Sigurdsson, because there's been a little bit of a dip from Sigurdsson at times as well. And I feel like if we had someone else who could play in the number 10 role, it would really benefit his performances, because we've seen this season with Michael Keane an improvement because of the people around him. He's no longer got Ashley Williams and Phil Jagielka's competition. He's got like Kurt Zouma and Yerry Mina. And if Sigurdsson gets that competition, and it might be from Bernard as a number 10, and then we'll see an improvement in all performances from everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I was going to make about Bernard as well, because I think he's played in the last couple of games. He's been moved into the number 10 role later in the game, I think, and he's looked quite threatening there. And I'd like to see that from the start eventually. Maybe whether that's when Sigurdsson has to drop out of the side for any reason, but it is a role I'd like to see Bernard be given a chance in, to be honest, and maybe he could be the backup to Sigurdsson that we need. So that's an interesting one as well, whether he'll get a chance in that role also. But yeah, let us know. Well, let us know what you think as well. Let us know in the comments what you think, how you think Everton should line up, and also whether we should go in for Doucouré, and whether he's any good really, and what you think of him. And please let us know. And thanks a lot for watching. And thanks Ben for joining as well. It's been a pleasure to have you on. And we're lucky to have you on. So hopefully we'll be back on with the extra show we did in the coming week. So thanks a lot for listening and for watching also, and make sure you like the video, comments and subscribe to the Toffee Blues. Thanks for watching, see you next time.